All right. What's going on, guys? Sponsor Sylvester Reports. Just here to talk more about what happened last night. I kind of talked about Kawhi in detail. I talked a little bit about Paul George, but I want to talk a little bit more about this Paul George situation because it doesn't make much sense to me. So here's the deal. If you guys are just waking up and you haven't heard, Paul George has been traded to the LA Clippers. Kawhi Leonard talked with him a little bit to see if he could force his way out of Oklahoma City and find his way with the Clippers. And Paul George went out of his way to see if he could make that happen as well. So turns out it happens. And I'm sitting here and I'm thinking, what was Oklahoma City thinking? They have Paul George on contract for the next 2 years. He's not on an expiring deal. You know, I think, if anything, they should, as soon as it became apparent that Paul George wanted to leave, trade him to Phoenix. Trade him to a team that is absolute garbage. Get their pick so you can end up getting a top 5 pick in the draft and put it alongside Russell Westbrook. You know what I mean? We're going to talk in a different video separately about this whole rumor about the Raptors possibly landing Paul George and Russell Westbrook in another video. I wanted this one to be a little bit shorter and concise. So, yeah, guys, what do you guys think about this Paul George trade? I think this is a horrible move by Sam Presti, someone that usually makes the right move all the time. For some reason, he obliged Paul George. He said, "You want to go to Clippers? Okay, we'll send you to the Clippers. This is a team out west. If anything, send him out east. Give him to a team that is not that great, like the Bulls or somebody that has a top pick, someone that Paul George can join, but not transform to the point where it's a title contender. That way, the pick that you get from that team will actually have value. These picks, these 5 picks from the Clippers won't mean anything because that team is loaded. Unless there is catastrophic injury to Kawhi Leonard and Paul George, and even if there isn't, that team put together 48 wins. That's not a lottery team without both of those guys. That pick is not going to be a lottery. None of those picks are going to be lottery picks. But Sam Presti has shown in the past that he's made the best of his draft position, getting guys like Reggie Jackson pretty late in the draft. He knows how to draft. He knows how to find talent, but I don't know, man. You just bolstered a team in the West. You didn't even get a solid pick for this guy. You add Danilo Gallinari, so you kind of replace the small forward. You add Giles Alexander, someone who has really good potential. A lot of people are very high on him. I haven't watched a lot of his game, to be completely honest. And yeah, so that is currently what I think of this trade in particular. We're going to talk a little bit about the Pascal Siakam trade and why I think that's a little bit misunderstood in 1 second. So I just wanted to cut this here, let you guys discuss what you guys think about this trade. Rio McLovin was good. Nothing much, man. Just watched Toronto blow up. Or watched Oklahoma City blow up. It's today could be better. Today could be better. Oh, you're from Toronto too. How you feeling, man? It's we got the championship. I was hungry for more, but it looks like LA is gonna be pretty crazy for the next few years. A battle of LA, to be completely honest. Did you go to the parade? Seems like most people didn't go to that parade, which is crazy. I was there. Yeah, Nathan Phillips Square was crazy, bro. I'm good. It's okay. I thank him and Green. Yeah, but I was far from the incident. Thank God, bro. I was literally right in the center. I almost got trampled by hundreds of people, man. It was that was not a great day. But it was a good day for Toronto overall. We got a parade. If we were ever to get another parade, probably would probably go closer to the beginning. Um, but yeah, man, this is a tough day. I do think Kawhi and Green, both of those guys came in, but did what they had to do, and then they dipped. Uh, we're obviously hungry for more, but it looks like we're going to have to rebuild for the next few years. I want to rebuild around Siakam, Van Fleet, and maybe Powell. He showed that he's worthy of rebuilding around, but Siakam obviously the focus of our rebuild here in Toronto. Um, but yeah, guys, I'm gonna come back in 1 second. I want to cut this here, and we're gonna talk specifically about the Pascal Siakam trade. Why I think that OKC was kind of playing Toronto a little bit. It didn't make much sense to me that they would want to give up Pascal's. They want to build around Pascal Siakam and give us Russell Westbrook and Paul George in the hopes of signing Kawhi Leonard. It just doesn't seem right. I think Oladipo and Beal would be good for the Raps. Yeah. Well, we have guys like Marc Gasol and Ibaka and Kyle Lowry. Depending on how fast Masai wants to start this rebuild process, we could probably go out there, put a package together, get a good young star. Russ to Miami. That's a pretty good possibility. I mean, but what piece would Oklahoma City want? It just, I don't know. I don't know, guys. We'll talk about this though. We'll continue to talk about this more in a later stream. I don't want to lose here, but if any new people come onto this video, please subscribe. And yeah, thank you so much, guys, for coming through to the stream. I'll be back in literally maybe 10-15 minutes streaming again. I prefer to stream than make videos. So yeah, I'll be back. Everyone calling PG a snake. Oh, for sure. Yeah, I don't know how much that's true. I heard reports that there was some discontent between Paul George and Russell Westbrook. I also heard that Paul George was kind of on the trading block as well, which didn't make sense because the West was going to be wide open next year. Oklahoma. I mean, the Golden State Warriors are weakened. They don't have Klay Thompson. It's just Steph Curry and Draymond Green. D'Angelo Russell will kind of make things a little bit better for now before he's traded, obviously, for a better asset for that team. It doesn't make sense, guys. Doesn't make sense at all to me. But that's that. Russ might go to the Wizards since Scott Brooks likes Russ and Wall and Brooks don't have a good relationship. Ooh. That might make sense. That might actually be something that you look into. A Russell Westbrook John Wall package? Maybe. It's interesting. We'll talk a lot about some of these things later on, possibly tonight, possibly after work. But yeah, all of this is very, very interesting. But let me guys know in the comment section down below for the people that are coming to the stream after it's aired. What do you guys think about this Paul George trade? Did you think Paul George snaked Russell Westbrook? Was it more management wanting to offload Paul George because they didn't believe in him as much as they thought they did? Because like I said before, the West was completely wide open next year. They could have made a good push. Kawhi Leonard just goes to the Clippers by himself. If that's a thing, then I still think Russell Westbrook, even Russell Westbrook's play style with Paul George, I think that they can get past the Clippers. It would be tough. It would be a 7-game series, but I think ultimately it would be an interesting series. Maybe the Lakers would present the hardest problem, but again, they wouldn't have to worry about the Splash Brothers, right? The West is completely wide open. Well, it was. Now I think the Clippers are going to come out of the West. Russ for Wall and another starter. That sounds good. When are you streaming again? Um, I'm probably gonna come back and stream the Toronto situation with Paul George and Russell Westbrook, which again, like I said, doesn't make much sense. In about I want to say 1 o'clock. I want to give it some buffer time. I want to say 1 o'clock. I'm gonna go eat breakfast. I'm gonna be back. We're gonna talk a little bit more about that uh, trade scenario. We're gonna talk about if it made sense, because again, we're only at the mid-level session, right? Toronto doesn't have any space to sign Russell Westbrook and Paul George. We would have to get rid of everyone and completely rebuild the roster. But yeah, I want to talk about that specifically in another video. This is already 11 minutes. So yeah, if you guys can come back for 1 o'clock, I might be a little bit late, but I'm going to shoot for 1 o'clock. I'm going to go eat now, come back, and we're going to talk. Might stream again after that later in the night, but that would probably be a little bit late, probably like around 10 o'clock. Talking about all the free agent moves since Kawhi was probably the last piece before we can kind of talk about pretty much everything that has happened throughout the league. Because now that Kawhi's gone, it doesn't really matter about the rest of these guys, where they go. Maybe Boogie Cousins, but the NBA is kind of set now. And we can make some very good predictions and say winners to losers. So now that that's done, I hope you guys enjoyed the stream. If you're new, please leave a like on this video. Subscribe as well. Thank you guys for joining. Rio and those are Japanese letters. I do not know how to say that name. Thank you so much for coming to the stream. Sorry about that. You live in Japan? Oh, you live in Japan. That's pretty sick. At 1, I'll be sleeping. Oh, damn. Oh, yeah, you're on the other side of the world. That's crazy. I didn't know that I had people rolling up from Japan on my stream. That's crazy. Yeah, bro, just come back to the channel, subscribe, right? So you'd probably be back for the winners and losers if you can come back. GN Animations, what's good, bro? I'm about to end this stream. You barely got here. I know, man. I started at around 1:15, but I'll be back at 1 if you can make it. So thank you guys for rolling through, and I will see you guys at 1 o'clock. Peace out, y'all.